What's up guys, Philip here, and I am back in the garage to talk to you guys about something really quickly before I get this Wednesday push-pull in, and that is, do you need a deadlift bar and does it make a difference? Now, I've been wanting to talk about this ever since my guy Wilson G asked in the comments if it really made a difference, and he said he was considering getting one. So I figured I would sit down and talk about it a little bit. Again, does it make a difference and should you get one? So let's jump into what a deadlift bar is as opposed to a stiff bar or a power bar. And so a deadlift bar is going to be a little bit longer than a stiff bar. It's going to be a little bit thinner of a shaft, typically a 27 millimeter shaft as opposed to a 29 millimeter shaft, which is going to make it a little bit easier to grip. And the thinner shaft, coupled with the further spacing of the weights due to the length of the bar, creates a whip into it, which traditionally has been said to take a little bit of that load off of the bottom position and make it a little bit easier, give you a little bit of an advantage. So what I'm going to say is anecdotal, of course. I am not the strongest deadlifter that uses a deadlift bar, of course. So if you're deadlifting 800 or 900 pounds, first of all, thank you for being here. Second of all, this is not really a test for you. This is gonna be for, the average person or the average strong person, if you will. So with a deadlift bar, surprisingly, my numbers are very similar. And I would say that I sometimes feel stronger on a stiff bar as opposed to a deadlift bar. And that for me, I believe, is because with a deadlift bar, it flexes and it's almost as if you can't translate the power, the force that you create as well into the bar for a deadlift bar as opposed to a stiff bar. And, a lot of people will say, well, take the slack out. Of course, pull that slack out of the deadlift bar first before you pull. I am not, terrible at doing that. And it still, for some reason, feels like I can translate more force into a stiff bar because it does not deform as much. So as far as the pull, sometimes it does feel easier because it does give that first 1.5 inches or so. If you're deadlifting over 5 or 5.5 plates. But as a whole, I feel like it's not that much easier. Now, there is one aspect that is a little bit easier about using a deadlift bar, and that is the fact that it is a thinner shaft. It's easier to hold on to, of course, and I feel like that does make a difference, and it obviously can make a pretty big difference if your grip is the limiting factor. So as far as that is concerned, that's probably the biggest advantage that I have seen from using one. Now, I figured I would take a 600-pound pull on a stiff bar and a 600-pound pull on a deadlift bar and put them side by side. Both of these clips are from a similar time in my training, so I was at a pretty similar strength level, and the results were very interesting, actually. So the 600-pound pull on the stiff bar actually felt a little bit harder, but then when I went to watch the pull, on video, at least for video feedback, it moved quite a bit faster. And again, I think that is because with a stiff bar, it doesn't deform, and so you can really translate that force into it. Now, I did find the grip a little bit more taxing on the stiff bar pull as opposed to the deadlift bar pull for that 600-pound comparison. So just figured I would share that. Now, with that being said, if a deadlift bar doesn't help you that much, why would you get one? I mean, it's good for deadlifting, and it is, for the most part, it's a pretty expensive bar and a pretty expensive specialty bar at that. And my answer to that would be, it is a very, very fun bar to use with a deadlift bar. Once you get up to even 3 plates, 4 plates, you can feel that whip in it. Is it going to make a huge difference on your lifts? I would say not. But it's just such a cool, novel feeling. So if you do take your deadlift seriously and you just want something that's fun and makes the experience funner for you while you are deadlifting, then I would highly, highly recommend a deadlift bar if you can fit it into your bar repertoire. So I just want to make that video, guys. If y'all have any questions, I do. The comparison that I used in this video was between a Rogue Ohio power bar for the power bar and a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar for the deadlift bar. So if you have any questions about either one of those bars or a deadlift bar versus stiff bar in general, then please do feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. But until next time, guys, I will catch y'all on the next one.